Oh my god. Oh. Hello there and welcome back to another Outriders video. And like you saw in the title, I finally made it to Apocalypse tier 40. It was quite a journey. The grinding was absurd. I don't know what the dev was thinking when they made this grind, but I want to share my experiences, what I think about it, and some tips might help you to speed up a little bit so you don't do the mistake that I did when I was grinding my way up to 40. I believe I'm one of the first person to achieve 40 legitimately. Yeah, I don't think that, you get to 40 unless you put like 10 to 16 hours daily grinding your way up there. So there's some things that, because trials is the most effective way to get there. I'm gonna give you some tips so you don't feel burned out, because after you hit 30, around 30 to 35, you probably gonna start feeling burned out, probably gonna start giving up on not getting to 40 because it's too much. It is too much. It is really punishing if you die at that on those levels, because you lose quite some hours on progression. So having that said, let's get onto it. Now, when it comes to grinding, what is the best path in my opinion when it comes to XP? In my opinion, you want to ignore the proving grounds. It takes too long, and I find it quite boring and annoying. So you can just completely bypass the proving grounds at all, because you don't get any good loot anyways. The game doesn't have any good rolls on apocalyptic boot gear, so you better yourself out checking vendors, so you can completely ignore this. You're not gonna get anything good anyway. So just go here, which is the Temple of Anomaly. This definitely is gonna give you a lot of XP, and also it's a short room. All you need to do once you get there, you go all the way to the beginning of the room, and all the mobs come to you. You can just destroy them very easily. After that, then you get the Arboretum, which basically gives you a lot of XP as well, and it's technically a short room compared to others. So definitely do not ignore the Arboretum, because it has a lot of mobs, and more mobs equals more XP. However, there's rooms that have a lot of mobs, but they're quite long. Like, for example, the Cliffside Path, I feel like it takes too long because it's so big. So you don't get that opportunity of grouping all those NPCs and killing in one shot. So you want to do the Arboretum, then do the docks as well. You can ignore the Daughter Sanctuary. I feel I'm not very fan of pillars bosses. So you got another one coming up. So make sure to go all the way up to the boss. Kill a couple times and then reset. And do the same thing in terms of more efficient, but also getting some gear in the process. Another tip that I can give you: change build from time to time. Do not do the entire grind with one build. It's gonna get the burnout plateau like quicker compared if you have multiple builds. Even if they're not optimized, guys, still rock a different build, because it's a different gameplay, different play style. As long it's efficient, just have different builds in order to have a completely different experience, even if you're doing the same thing for grind. So that's another tip that I can give you. That's why I feel like every now and then, like every 2 or 3 runs, I will change my build. I have a couple builds already, you already seen in the channel, so I will cycle within them. That way I can have a different experience while I'm running the trials. So the other thing you can do, guys, basically is doing expedition in the mix. Do not do the whole grind on trials, because again, the burnout is gonna hit you quicker. So you want to just compress every now and then, go to expeditions. You can, maybe you don't want to do a long one, you can do super short one like Stargrave, Boomtown, etc. I personally find City of Nomads, Wellspring, Coliseum, the one that you had to put some pods, more enjoyable and also longer, so you can get more experience in the process. Sometimes you can even get good drops in it. I have gotten some of the best pieces in Expeditions. So at the end of the day, guys, it's RNG. You can also do the Eye of the Storm expedition with the 3-pillar method if you want to, like, you know, endlessly kill mob for a bit. That's another way you can do that. So yeah, that's that. The other thing is, guys, as soon you start getting higher tiers, try to do it with a friend. Obviously, you being the host, do not do matchmaking, guys. Do not do matchmaking, because you might run into a hacker and then might ruin your account. So do runs for your friends. That way, if you die, you have a second chance, because you do it solo at high levels is more punishing if you die. You're gonna lose a lot of progress, a lot of hours if you die. So I recommend, as soon as you start getting like higher tiers and reduce some of that frustrations when you die, get a friend in the mix and do some couple runs with them. So it might take a little bit longer or faster depending who you're playing with, but at least you don't lose hours of progress if you die. Guys, it is really punishing. You lose a lot of XP. It's basically like the credit. You build all these good credit over time, but you screwed up one time, your credit goes down super quick, which is just basically the same thing. So it's not really fun to die when you're high levels. So that's another tip that I can give you. The next thing, if while you're taking breaks in between, guys, check the vendors, because they have better apocalyptic gear that might serve as an upgrade. They usually come with very good, like, tier 3s that you will never get in the trials. For some reason, the pool in the trial is completely messed up, and you almost not gonna get that perfect roll in the trial. So don't worry about getting apocalyptic epic gear in the trials, because I would say from 100, probably 5 of them are good. Now, the other tip that you can give if you want to take a break in between is just start another class. Play for another class for a little bit, another class that you're interested in trying. That way you don't feel that you're playing the same character over and over and over, because unfortunately, you know, the grind is not fun. It's not fun. I'm sorry, you know, I'm gonna be really honest, but I don't know who thought that this grind was gonna be fun, and it's definitely not all friendly. So if you finish one character, you have to do the same grind on the other one. So in that sense, definitely the devs dropped the ball on this, and yeah, I'm sure they have feedback on this, and they probably proceeded with what thought it will be fun. They even thought that nobody will make it legitimately to 40, and here we are, 40. And did I feel burnout? I was starting to get a little burnout, not gonna lie. Thank God I had different builds, like I said, that helped me out to push through it. Now I feel like it's a little unfair that you have a very big grind, but you also get punished if you die. I don't think that should be a thing. You know, you cannot have both things in one grind. Like, you're gonna make the grind hard, but also you die, the penalty is gonna be really hard as well. Like, come on. So hopefully this get adjusted in the future. Hopefully the trials get adjusted in the future. They bring more RNG elements in it, different bosses, different rooms. I don't know, is it betting to this be the future of Outriders? They definitely need to work on it, because this the trial already feel rushed, that it doesn't feel rewarding. I feel like it doesn't have that element of the expedition in terms of fun. So unfortunately, I cannot say trial is right now a better experience than the expedition. I'm sorry, but they're not. They're not. You find the same boss multiple times. You find it in the catacombs, you find it right here, you find it at the end. The only boss that really is different is the Daughter Sanctuary and the Altar of Okrio. That's the only bosses, but everything else is just a cliche. So I don't know, in the future they really need to put more, you know, boxes in the mix, more rooms in the mix, different, you know, more mechanics into it, if you want to keep your player base doing this over and over and over. Obviously, like I said, don't worry about gear. Right now, builds optimization is almost impossible. You probably gonna optimize your build up to 90%, and that's it. Because there's certain pieces that you won't be able to get unless they fix the pool, especially on epic gear. Now, in terms of managing resources, guys, focus on at least 2 builds that you really want to play, because the higher you go, the more you're gonna spend, and you're gonna go broke real quick. Now, talking about resources, that's why I did some of the expedition on the mix, because it drops more pots than the trials. That way I didn't go broke, at least in the trial side, because titanium is gonna be very abundant on the trial, so that's not a problem there. But at least the power resources drop is gonna be better doing expeditions, and that will help you to keep your sanity up and keep your burnout you know, slow down a little bit, because you're seeing a different, you know, environment, different bosses, you know, and you can see what your build can really do. It's really hard to quantify how your build is doing in the trials, because every trial doesn't have a final screen saying you did this damage, this is what was outperforming, or this was poor performance on this in this run, so you can monitor what can you adjust on the build doing trials. Unfortunately, that's not a thing. Maybe in the future, I feel like that will be a common sense, just adding a final screen who did more damage or how your build is performing on the different tropes, so you can start adjusting the mods and stuff to you can fine-tune your build for doing trials. That's why I use Expedition as a let me try my build, let me see how it performs, and I started doing quick adjustments. Now, talking about testing build, do not test builds on the trials, guys. Do not test it on the trials, because some of the encounters have a lot of health. So if your build is not optimized for bossing, you probably might end up dying, compared to that maybe a simple expedition. So that's another tip that I can give you. Do not test builds on trials, because you possibly gonna die. It's gonna basically slow you down up to 40. Now, in the ascension level, it's not gonna be 200, guys. Once you hit 40, probably it's gonna be around 180, 185, depending if you die or not. You know, probably if I didn't die, probably I was gonna be like 180. But because I died a couple times, because what I mentioned earlier, I had to grind this XP again. Therefore, I got more ascension levels. I have a couple more builds for Pyro, hopefully in the future for you guys. Thank you so much for the support, guys. You guys being amazing. You guys being killing it on the streams. Thank you for all the support. I'm really thankful for your time and being part of this journey that really the devs didn't think it was possible. Well, I made it possible. So, yeah, guys, stay strong, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.